So this is Elise. She's a 6 to 7 figure trader. You might have seen her at one of Coach Max's sessions. She's one of the, I believe she's one of those traders that really know how to trade just like the banks do. I've looked at a couple of her recordings and she has a lot of knowledge about patterns and levels in the market and volatility and volumes. So she's really, really good at what she does. So we're going to actually listen to her and take as many notes as possible. We'll have a Q&A. Then a little bit, I'm going to also go over the training portal that I put together for this team. If that way, if anybody who hasn't plugged into it yet, if they want to, they can. And then I'm going to also show you guys how to kind of navigate the MetaTrader 4, how to kind of set it up. I'll show you how to set up a demo account as well. And then we'll take it from there. And then we'll go ahead and get it started. See if I can fast forward just a little bit.
All right, so let me join you on the chat today. Is there anything in particular that y'all want me to go over? Obviously, I always have my lessons planned out, and I'm actually going to be on in the morning for New York as well with Aaron, which I'm really excited about. But since I'm sort of taking over, I want to see if there's anything in particular that y'all want me to go over. And if you do, then I'm going to do that. So give me some ideas. And then we're going to get right into it. And I just went straight to the pairs, huh? Can I go over convergence again? So the correlation divergence, okay. Favorite setup. I will try to look at the market, see if I can see potential setup, but we're always going to do some education on our lives regardless. All right, entries and exits, I like that. Let me write that down. Entries and exits. I like that because we haven't really gone over that before. Hi. Okay, we're gonna do entries and exits. I like that. And then let's see what else. Recommendations for brokers, we're gonna have to do that. I don't think we can really cover that right now. Okay, I'll try to go over correlation divergence quickly. I'm only gonna do it probably in the pair we're on. And then can I go over indication of lower lows and higher highs? Sure, I'll go over trending market a little bit. I know it's been reviewed before, but I haven't necessarily done it because I do want to go over like shift and break in market structure. So I will go over trending market because I'm going to go over it that specifically. All right, and then pending orders. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay. So I have pulled up, this is silver. Let's do pair that people actually trade. I traded, I don't know if everybody else does. Let's do gold. A lot of us like gold for obvious reasons, right? It's great. Okay, so give me 1 second. Let me X out of here. That's why I can hear echo. There we go. That was driving me nuts for a second. Okay, here we go. So we're on gold. So entries and exits. So each trader that has their own strategy, right? They have different techniques that they use from entry and exits, okay? So I want to point that out first. But with that said, regardless, you should always have a trading plan, right? So you're going to devise your trading plan as you're learning based off the qualifications of your confirmations. But I feel like a lot of times people only focus on their entry and then they forget about exit and trade management. Let's introduce something new. So trade management is something that professional traders have to worry about, right? Because I have actually been able to see traders that are able to find really good setups and then have trouble executing on the setups. The reason for that is they're lacking in their trade management. So once a trade is active, especially if you're doing a day trade or swing trade, you need to be able to manage that trade. That includes multiple things like putting your stop loss at break even or in profit. It includes taking partials. So we're going to go over different ways that you can practice trade management and then go over things like that. Okay, so let's use this example here, right? So this was trending, previously it was trending bullish. And then we changed to trending bearish. All right, so in this example, maybe one of the entry confirmations that I use is I use Fibonacci, and then maybe I look for the reversal here at BRE for best retracement entry, which is between the 70.5 and the 79. So maybe that's one example of what I look for here. And then I also saw that, you know, was underneath this area of orders. So I'm maybe looking for a sell here. So this is a potential area where I would set a sell limit. You would do something like doing it at the zone. Maybe you would put your stop loss past the completion of the Fibonacci. Now, I always recommend, by the way, when you're putting your stops, let's go over that too. We're going to go over some good stuff today for trading, okay? Whenever you are setting your stop loss and take profit, you have to account for spread, okay? So spread, once again, is that difference between the high and low price. And what you pay to get in the trade. And whenever you're watching a trade, you can see, like, you can have a setting on your phone where you can actually see the spread move. So for your trade to be activated or taken out, the spread has to go over that line. So when it comes to activating a trade, it has to be hit by, you know, where the market is, the current market price. But manipulation that can happen in the market, like for market makers or brokers that do a little bit of manipulation in the market, they will typically expand spread when it comes to stop loss so that it will hit your stop loss. And then when it comes to your take profit, they will typically narrow the spread so it doesn't take you out. Because once again, if your take profit is at 100, but the market comes to it and then it narrows down, maybe it goes to 98, and then it narrows down the spread and it never goes over. It doesn't matter if it misses it by 1 pip. If it doesn't hit that take profit zone, or if the spread doesn't pass that area, it is not going to take you out of the trade. So we don't expect the market to adjust to us, right? We adjust to the market. So with all that said, after that explanation, when I'm putting my stop loss, if I have potential, if I think that it might go to the 100 of this Fibonacci, I'm not going to put it exactly on that line, because then if it goes to that area, it's going to knock me out by 1 pip and then make the complete move that I want. So that's the opposite of what you want to do. So I usually will leave a little bit of extra pips, a little bit of extra leeway behind the area that I expect that it might have potential to go to, because I don't want to be knocked out and then it makes the move that I want. Now, when it comes to take profit, let's say I expect it to come all the way to here. I'm going to move it in by a few pips, because once again, I don't want it to come to the zone where I want it to take me out of the trade and then I miss getting pulled out of the trade. Because you have to realize that sometimes, you know, pinning orders, especially for pinning orders, sometimes whole entire trades can be activated and go to take profit while you're sleeping, right? Because, you know, if you use them, you don't know when they're going to activate, and it might be at a point in time where you're sleeping, and you don't want to have a trade run all the way to your take profit and go all the way back to your entry while you're sleeping and you didn't have your trade take you out. Now, with that said, there are some expert advisors that you can use, or it's called the EA, Expert Advisor. You can use that through MetaTrader, and it is basically like a robot or automation tool that you can put in, and they have some that do trailing stops. Actually, you know what? You don't even have to use the EA. I just remembered. If you use MetaTrader on your computer, you can actually use MetaTrader. So I'm not going to pull it up because I don't know that I have a MetaTrader ready on this laptop. I think it's on, I have 2 laptops and
Yeah.
my other one. But you can go to where your pending order is on your laptop, and you can right click it, and it will have a button there for trailing stop. And when you select it, you have to select the number or the amount of pips that you want it to activate at. So you can set it at like 15, 20, 25 pips. It means after the trade moves that amount of pips, it'll activate a trailing stop. And basically, if it keeps moving, if it comes back to that amount of pips, it will take you out in profit. So I do want to mention that tool as well. Okay, so these are all great things to learn and consider while we are trading. Okay, so hopefully y'all can see. Okay, y'all can see me on the live. I got worried with your questions y'all were talking about. Okay, so right, so entries and exits. So the main way that most of us are taking out of trades are going to be stop loss or take profit. But of course, you can manually exit out of trades. So another way to do trade management and to manage your trades is to take partials. So in the beginning, when you're trading a 0.01, you can't take partials, unfortunately, because you can't take anything less than a 0.01. But if you do any lot size larger than that, you can actually take out partial profits, and you can actually take out partial losses as well. And I'm going to go into why you would do that, or if you needed to, which you shouldn't need to do it, but I'll still let you know about it so you're aware. Okay. So let's say on this trade, I decide to do a standard lot, which is a 1.00. And let's say that my target is here, but I have 4 different zones. I'm not gonna let's just make up some zones. I know it'll likely come to this support. I'm gonna use previous areas to determine targets, okay? Come to this support, and then my full target is here, okay? So we'll do that. We'll come up with like 3 targets. All right, so let's say on this trade, now this one happens to be one that picked up orders and like completely took off, okay? But sometimes, most of the times, you'll have something like this where you have it go and then pull back and then go and then pull back. So if you are in a trending market and you see it recovering those areas and you have your targets based off like areas of potential struggle or where it's going to have a pullback, that might be an area where you want to take partial profit. So on this one, if I were to do it as a standard lot, I might take out 0.25 because it has to be less than the number that you're doing, right? Whatever it is, I can't take out more than what I have in there. So if I do a standard lot, I can go the way you do it on MetaTrader 4, because I'm not sure if you can do this on your laptop, although you probably should be able to, because I know on the laptop, I typically just exit out and it closes it. But the way you do it on your phone is you go to the check mark thing for the close screen. And then when you go to the close screen, it shows you the amount, but it also at the top of it, it has where the lot size is. Just like when you put in an order, it shows you the lot size at the top. So you will like delete the 1.00 and then you will put in 0.25. And then it will show you the amounts of that, of what is there. So let's say that it already ran $1,000 in profit. And when I go to the close screen, it will initially show $1,000. But when I go in there and rewind it or delete it and I put in 0.25, then it will show what, $250. So I make sure it's right. I make sure I put in the number that I want. And then when I hit close now, it's only going to take out 250. And then what you have left running is going to be a 0.75. And then your profits from that point on will be with the lot size that you have left. Then maybe at my next target, I feel as though I want to take 50% out. At that point, it will be from 0.75. So I do the same thing. I hit the check mark. I minus the 0.75. I put in 0.50. And then after that, what I have left running for the last part of it is 0.25. So the reason why I actually like partials, I do it a lot of times when I swing trade because I see myself making money the whole entire way. So that is something that I view as a positive, and it actually helped me hold trades longer. The only con with it, obviously, is that whenever the trade is running, whatever's left, it's only going to be times the amount of the lot size you have running. So there's pros and cons with it, but for me, I like it because I like to make money as I'm going. So it's something that I personally prefer. So hopefully that made sense on how you use it. If you don't want to use that, you can simply just do a trailing loss. And now I want to go over how you do a trailing loss because I know that people know that like it exists and whatnot, but I want to go over the best way to do it like really efficiently. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me see if I have any questions before I go into that. All right. So now you know how to take partial profits. Since I said I would mention, I'll go over partial losses really quick. So if you were not following risk management and you were going to do something that I totally think you shouldn't do, and you were over margining, doing over margin on your account or over leveraging your account, your numbers will become red and you'll be at risk for the broker to pull your trade. So let's say you have a $5,000 account and you're in drawdown $2,000. Depending on your leverage, they might give you, your margin needs to be basically positive or higher than 100. If it becomes, each broker is different, by the way, what their acceptable margin is, but typically you want it over 100, you want it positive. But let's say your broker, some will let you go to 0, some will let you go to negative, it just depends. Regardless, before they pull a trade, they will typically have, your numbers will turn red, and it'll be like, you're basically about to get pulled out of the trade. So number one, you shouldn't let yourself get in that predicament, regardless. If you did, what they're going to do to make it better is they're going to close your largest trade. So you can either A, just do that yourself, close your largest trade. Because typically when that happens is when you are stacking trades in the wrong position. So let's say you were looking for a sell, but the market keeps buying, and instead of just doing one trade and letting that one trade stop loss, you keep stacking the losing trade, thinking that it's going to reverse. And then maybe you have 3 sells and the market's been buying. So the one that you're going to need to close is the one that's been there the longest and with the highest number. But a way to save your margin, if you wanted to, you could technically do a partial loss, and it might put you back in where you're in acceptable margin. But I don't know if I should tell you that, because really you just shouldn't practice that. Regardless, you're able to, so you know. All right, we're going to go over trailing stop, and then the best way to do it, if you want to practice doing a trailing stop instead of partials. If you want, you can do both. You can do a trailing stop and partials. So the reason why I like to do partials a lot of time is because that way, because sometimes in a trending market, sometimes you'll have like one wick that's really aggressive and like just wipes out almost everybody's trailing stop. And then a lot of people miss the last part of the move. It doesn't happen all the time. It just depends on the pair you trade, but on high volatility pairs like gold or indices, that can happen. So that's the other reason why I chose to kind of do partials over trailing stop. But it works really well with regular Forex pairs. So I'm going to show you like a nice trending market and show you the best way to do it. Okay. So let's do that. Let's zoom in a little bit. This is probably a good area to do it. Okay. So let's say you have your original trade. I'm going to do the blue line for entry. And I'm going to do the red line for a stop loss. Okay. So for your original trade, that was not it. Hold on. Let's try one more time. Okay, I'll make stop loss red. So we'll just pretend like the target's somewhere up here, okay? So we take a buy, this is our entry, and this is our stop loss. So a lot of people move their stop loss in a little bit too quickly, and then they get stopped out and they keep having to get back in. So I'm gonna show you the way to do it to trail that typically is most effective. So when you have a trending market, especially when it comes bullish, each time it goes to a higher area, you want it to come back, and you want first thing you want to look for is you want to see it clear the area to go to a higher zone or continue trending. That's the first thing you look for. The second thing you look for is for that area to be validated or for it to continue momentum. So, because the thing is that it can consolidate or range in the zone multiple times, just like this one here. Because these zones here that were broken went through immediately, but this zone, it ranged in the zone before it moved on, which I'm about to show you, but I'm just kind of explaining it beforehand. So the thing is that if you move it on the initial impulse before it actually shows you that this zone has been cleared, then you're going to end up getting stopped out, and then it's still going to keep continuing. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So for this move, I want to really wait for this to clear the high that was already established to make sure that it's going to be in the next zone. So I'm basically looking for the higher highs to be established, right? Because it's a trending market. So for this one, we get in the trade, it takes off. And look, if you put your stop loss in profit already, look, you're going to be knocked out almost immediately. So that's not what I'm looking to do. For me, I prefer that it clears this zone. So I'm going to wait for it to clear this high before I put it in profit. So now that it cleared this high right here, I'm going to put it in profit. Okay. Now you can do break even too. If you are someone who's really uncomfortable with like taking any type of loss, like this one, you could have done break even on the first one and been okay, but then you also risk it coming to the same place to get more orders and getting knocked out. So once again, it's up to you. Now, once I see it clear this high, you could technically move it up, but then now when it comes to check this zone, right now when this resistance becomes a potential support, you're going to be knocked out. So for me, I want to see this area either be validated or now clear the next zone. And now that it cleared this high, now I feel comfortable putting in profit past the previous high. Okay. Then now, just like before, I'm going to wait for the zone that was just broken to be validated, right? So this resistance became a support. This area is validated, and then it takes out the previous high. Siri's trying to talk to me. It takes out the previous high, and then I feel comfortable once again moving it to the next zone. So the reason why we wait for it, like these areas worked really smoothly, but in this example, you can see how the reason why you want to wait is because it ranges here. So it's not in this example until it clears the high and either establishes this zone, it struggles a lot, and then breaks this high that I move it up again. Okay, so that's basically how I do trailing stops. And that's the best way to do it, where you're actually not going to get stopped out and you're still protecting all your profit that you built. So
Okay, team. So I wanted to pause the video. Does anybody have any questions so far? You guys can take yourselves off mute or you can ask in the chat, but just want to make sure you guys understand her concept of trailing the stop loss. This is a very good concept. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't know we can even move it up. I wasn't fully understanding that concept. So
Yeah.
it looks like you're just determining how many pips you want to secure and just kind of keep it below, I guess, the current price.
Yeah, basically you'll be able to do that in the MetaTrader 4. I can show you guys an example of that. But basically what happens is when you're in the MetaTrader 4, I'll show you guys a brief demonstration and then we'll continue the video. So if you are doing, let me share my phone screen. Let me do that. Can everybody see my phone screen?
Yes.
So when you're in a trade, for example, the market's not open, but I'll use a perfect example. Let's say you're selling USD CAD, right? And so you go to the USD CAD. I'm going to show you guys how to navigate this for the end of this training. Where is the USD CAD pair? I know I have it in here. Didn't I add it? No, I did. USD CAD, where are you at?
Baby right there, USD CAD.
So let's say you traded, right? And let's say you're in the market and you already put in your stop loss and you take profit. Now I'm not gonna be able to do it yet because the market will open in 30 minutes. What's going to happen is when your trade is in an open trade, you're going to see it down here. You're going to see USD CAD. You're going to see how much in profit you are or how much in drawdown. When you tap on it, it's going to give you 3 to 4 options. It's going to give you the option to either look at the chart, to hit trade, to hit close, or to hit modify. You're going to want to hit modify. And when you're reading the charts in TradingView and you see where price is at, you're going to kind of see, okay, price is moving up or is moving down. Okay, Now I see that, let's say, for example, price moves up. You're going to see where price is below that. And so when you see what price is below where you're profiting, then you're going to put that price in as the stop loss when you hit the modify button. And once you put that in, then you'll hit the trade button again. And then it's going to actually put in the new stop loss that you put in. So I'm going to kind of, the market starts in 30
You do
minutes.
Bitcoin, Paul?
Yes,
Can
Sunshine?
you do Bitcoin? Because it's open now. You can, right? Can you do
Bitcoin is a
Bitcoin?
perfect, yeah, Bitcoin is,
Demo, right? Yeah,
yeah,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is a perfect example. Thank you, Sunshine. I didn't think about that. So let's do Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So you see the chart here, right? So when I hit trade, let's say I just go ahead and just put in the numbers, whatever number. Let's say that's stop loss and the take profit. Let's say I put 33, let's say I put 34,100 or 34.10. So let's say I put in a buy by market. It says invalid stop loss. So you know what? Let me do this. I'm just gonna put it in. So let's say I'm in a buy, right? So you can see that I'm actually in a position and I'm in drawdown. Now, when I'm on trading view and I see that the market is going in my favor and I'm profiting, right? Let's say I'm profiting $50 and I want to lock that in. So what I need to do is I need to look at what price is below my trend, just like she just showed. Whatever that price is, when you tap on MetaTrader 4, you want to hit modify. And then you're going to want to put in the new stop loss once you find that price and put it in here. And once you find that, you can hit modify and it modified it for you. That way the stop loss is closer to your profit. So that way, for whatever reason, if the market reverses and it hits that stop loss, it'll take you out in your profit. Now notice that I changed the stop loss. It just took me out of the trade. You just saw that, right? Of course, I was already in drawdown, but just imagine if you were profiting $100 and you trailed your stop loss, and for some reason price went the other way and it hits it, you locked in at $100. Now I hope that
Well, that's,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, so that's more or less like kind of like insurance. You know what I mean? Like that's just to make, you know what I mean? That's keeping yourself from to losing any of the profit that you already been gaining.
Bingo. Right. Bingo. Exactly. That's exactly it. Let me check the chat here because somebody answered a question. Okay, great, Julian. You understand the trailing. Okay, great. Yeah, basically what Russell said is that you want to get in the practice of doing that, especially if you're trading big money. Let's say, like me personally, it doesn't matter how much money I'm making, but if I'm trading big money to where I'm making $500 to $1,000 in profit, I'm trailing that stop loss close just in case. I don't care how close it is. I don't care if I set that stop loss to where it bumps me out right away. At least I made $500 to $1,000, because if I don't trail it close enough, and for some reason the market goes the other way, and then you start to lose money or go into drawdown, now you're going to be mad that you didn't trail it. So you want to try to trail the stop loss as quickly as possible, not too close to where it hits you out right away, but close enough to where you can say, okay, if the market goes the other way and it hits my stop loss, I don't mind losing $5 to $10 because I still gain most of my profits. Excuse me. Does that make sense so far? What trailing stop loss is? That's exactly what she's trying to explain to us. Does anybody have any questions or comments that they want to make before we move on? Excuse me, guys. Anything else? Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and keep on going. So I'm going to share my screen and go to the other. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll continue on.
So again, the main mistake is people moving it up only when it breaks the zone, but not when it's been retested or validated and they're getting in too early and they get stopped out. And it's unfortunate, especially moves like this, because even though, now don't get me wrong, you can always get back in the trade on a new low. But the thing is that you're giving up that best entry that you had. So it's not like, if you get stopped out, it's not the worst thing to happen. So I'm not trying to teach it where it's like that. But I just want to be clear that if you want to actually practice swing trading and you want to practice how to efficiently do a trailing stop, that is a way to do it. So you want to see it clear to the next zone. You want to see it be validated or retested. And once it's to the next one, then you can move it up. So let me see if you have any questions on that before we move on. So doing this will be, we keep taking profit open. Yeah, so you keep the, well, I didn't put a profit, like a take profit, but you're typically going to have a set one and you just do it till it reaches your take profit. All right, so when it comes to taking partials, once you're up a good time, move your stop loss to your entry. Yeah, so don't get me wrong. You never can go wrong protecting your bank, right? That's the number one rule. That's one of my number one rules is protect your bank, right? Never let a winner turn into a loser. So like, I think it's unacceptable if your trade is up like 30, 50 pips and you let it lose later. It's like, what are you doing? Like you need to find a way to secure it. Now this one might've gone a certain amount of pips. So this might be an example, like if you get stopped out and it still meets your validations for a buy, then get back in and it's still a good low entry. You know what I mean? But I would be okay if you got knocked out protecting your bank than if you're like being reckless and not practicing good habits. All right, let's see. They're telling me you have to use MT4 so you can understand. I don't think I have it pulled up on here. That's my point. This is a Mac. You have to have it pulled up and linked to your broker. And I don't know if I have this linked to my broker. If I knew, like I said, if I took over on this sort of last minute, he had emergency come on, but or come up. But if I knew I was going to be doing that, I would have had it pulled up already. So my apologies on that. All right, so the next thing we're going to go into is a trending market, which we kind of actually went into a little bit. But we're also going to go over now. So let's see. Let's zoom out and take a look. So for trending markets, I'm going to go over 2 qualifications for a trending market. I'm actually just going to draw it first, and then we're going to go find it in the market. Okay. So let me go on a higher time frame and go to the right. All right, y'all can't make fun of my freehand, okay? Because I'm not an artist, so keep your expectations where they're at. All right. Oh man, it looks good. Okay, so for a bullish market, we are looking for higher highs, and higher lows. So that's one qualification of a bullish market. Higher highs and higher lows are being continuously created. The other thing you're looking for is for resistance become a support. Bam. It's going to keep happening. Now, we know that it's not always this pretty. Sometimes it can stay in one zone. It can do something like this, or in one zone it stays there like 2 to 3 times and then goes to the next zone. So that's one example. It can do something like that where it stays in that zone and accumulates or starts to do consolidation here. It can also like just skip the whole entire zone. So let's say that we have, I'll do it over here. Let's say we have a really strong momentum, right? Let's say that we had a zone in here that was just completely obliterated because there was a massive amount of orders picked up here. That can happen as well. But regardless, in all of these, it's still making higher highs and higher lows. You see that? So this one stays even, but regardless, these are both still higher than the previous one, right? These are even, but the next move it continues to trend. These might be different, but you're still making higher lows from the previous one. Make sense? So the market's not always this pretty. It is sometimes, but regardless, resistance is becoming a support, and we're making higher highs and higher lows. Okay? So now it's going to be the exact same thing for a bearish market, but opposite. So for a bearish market, we're making lower lows and lower highs. All right, so lower lows right there and lower highs. And simply said, now it's the opposite. So now a support is becoming a resistance in a trending bearish market. Okay. Just like before, it doesn't have to be picture perfect. It might come in here and consolidate in the zone. Maybe even just go halfway and then like whatever. Okay, regardless, it's still making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, y'all see the repetition? Same thing as before, it can shoot through a zone and do all that. So for a bearish market, a support is becoming a resistance, and then lower lows and lower highs are being made. So now that we went over that, I think we went over that before, but I want to go over how to identify a switching market or trending, a switch, like a reversal. Right, so should have asked if we had any questions before I deleted that, but I think we got the point. Okay, let's see more questions. All right, so how do we identify reversal? Great question. I'm going to show you. So we have what we were looking for with trending. I'm going to go over different examples, okay?
Identifying reversals are extremely important, guys. Definitely take notes on this.
So here's one example. Okay, so for this one, we had an aggressive, we had a massive amount of sales picked up and we had an aggressive drop. So the indication for this one that there was a change in trend was the break of market structure. So that's also considered BMS, break in market structure, right? Because before the structure is what we were looking at. So previously, okay, so let's clarify what it would have been if it continued to trend. So if we were going to continue to trend, sorry, I'm like stuttering. If we were going to continue to trend, we would be looking for this to, because what it could have done, hold on, let me show you. A way that this could have continued to trend, I'll just do a different color, would have been, it could have actually done this and done this. Okay, so an example where it try to like confuse people and make it think that it's changing trend is where it comes back and actually stays even instead of like making a higher low, but it still respects this area enough that it's not making a lower low. So it didn't break market structure. So the fact that it respected this twice, and if it makes a higher high, then it's still going to continue to trend bullish, okay? So now, this time, this break in market structure happens. So now this area where we need to have either an equal or a lower high doesn't happen and it breaks through it. Now I will say this, right? Because sometimes the market will try to trap you, because this is also can happen, okay? This is an example of like a false breakout or stop plan. Let me do a different color again. Hold on one second. Let me do, okay, let's do red. Let's ignore that, okay. What it could also do is something like this. So if it does this, this is an example of a trap, okay? This is an example of either a fake out or like manipulation. This happens because of liquidity voids. That's gonna be another lesson I'm not gonna go into right now. But let's say that this over here was equal lows, and there's actually, the institutions are gonna try to come in here and pick up the orders that people have for sales and then knock them out by buying, okay? So this is an example of a trap or like a fake out, depending on what you call it. But in this example, it's still going to continue bullish because this high here is actually still bigger than this high, and we have to make a new high. Okay, so yes, it did initially break market structure, but the second thing that you need to look for is that once it breaks that zone, it needs to respect it if it's a valid reversal. And in this example, it doesn't respect it, right? It just breaks through it. So that is an example of how you know that it's a trap, because if it was actually a valid reversal, the zone would now be a resistance, because now for trending bearish, you're looking for support to become a resistance. And this failed on the retest, and so now it's bullish. So hopefully that makes sense. I tried to say that slowly. Okay, so in this example, break in market structure happened. That's right here, just to be clear.
All right, guys, so I kind of want to pause the video. So do you guys kind of understand what she's kind of talking about when it comes to a retest or a fake out? Is that starting to make sense?
So basically, she's saying that if it had hit the line and went back up, it would have been persistent because it went through instead of stopping there and going up. Now it changed. That's basically what she's saying.
Yeah, basically, when it comes to certain patterns in the market and trends, you want to try to avoid the fake out because sometimes price, like perfect example right here. Can you guys see my mouse? Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So perfect example, you see that there's an uptrend. It's creating, lower highs and a higher high. And they create a last higher high here, but then it drops. Now, if you're a scalper, you probably could have sold this here. But understand that when you get into the fake out, you're going to have to exit because if price comes down and creates a lower high, lower high and then, a lower low and then a lower high, it has to retest here and then come back down for you to enter again here. Otherwise, it could fake out and make you think that it's going into a sell and maybe going into a retest. But if it doesn't retest, it can shoot straight back up for a buy. And if you had stayed in that sell and probably not have exited here, you could have lost a lot of money. So typically, one of the things that the banks do, they kind of sell here, maybe jump out and then maybe create another sell order here after a retest has been confirmed. Does that kind of make sense so far?
So after we see that there was a break in market structure or in the trend, the retest is making sure it's going to go down in a bearish trend instead of, continuing into that bullish trend.
Exactly. A retest, a retest is a swing, whether it's this here or if you're buying down here, because that's how the banks are actually putting in the orders. So it's always best to enter in after a retest. So if you see a retest and price starts to go down, it'd be best if you enter here. Or if you see price retest here and it starts to bounce up, then that's when you enter here, because that's when the banks are buying or selling. So you want to always try to enter in at the retest. It's extremely important because that's confirmation that it's going into that trend. Anything less than that, it could go the other direction. And one of the biggest ways that people lose trades, especially if you're a new person, is that you don't understand when price is reversing. Of course, you can understand that by, confirming a retest or understanding candle action, whatever the case may be. But to avoid getting into a reversal situation, you want to always enter in at a retest. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. But that's just one of the ways. It's just identifying the pattern, identifying the price action, and that's the key.
Can you show it to us on your phone what it actually looks like?
As far as like on Trading View?
You know how you just brought your phone there? Can you show what a retest is, like a one that's already passed, to see what it looks like? What you mean by a retest?
So I could show you on
Not
Trading
sure
View
where it
because
is.
Trading View is a lot better because MetaTrader 4 is hard to see.
And
Let
then
me do something here. Let me try to get out of,
it was validated.
let me pause this video and get out of it. All right, now let me share my screen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my Trading View. I'm going to try to show you guys an example the best way I can. Market is not open, so I'm going to use, let's do, we got 10 minutes until the market opens. Let's do Ethereum versus Bitcoin since that's moving. Let's see if price is moving with that. So perfect example here. Let's say I zone out of here. So if you were to,
Hey, Paul.
yeah, what's going on, Taquan?
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, what's
Is
up?
this being recorded? Because I gotta head back to work.
Say it again.
Is this recorded?
Yeah. This is recorded.
Is this
Yeah.
being recorded? Because I gotta head back.
Yeah, I can record it.
When it's over, can you just send it so I can
Sure, I can do that. Let me mute everybody so I can show everybody this. All right. So when you're identifying a trend, so like as we can see here, price is kind of going into a downtrend here. All right. So when I take my trend lines, for example, right, and I draw this, and I want to make sure that is, you know, the trend here is hitting support, and then I draw another trend line, for example. So as you can see, price is hitting support, boom, boom, and it went down, boom, boom, right. Now, eventually at one point in time, it's going to break that trend line and go upward eventually, because, you know, market goes up and goes down, right? It goes into an uptrend and a downtrend. So the only way you want to confirm if this is going into a buy, because we're in a downtrend, is if price does this. Now I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So let me do my arrows. So at the bottom here, what price would have to do is price would have to go up. It would probably have to break this trend line, go up. It would have to come down again. And this is a retest, and then bounce right back up. So I'm going to label this for you guys. So right here, shoot, let me do something real quick. All right. This is the retest, because basically in the retest, price is trying to bounce off of that support, which is right here. So I'm gonna put, and this is just an example, guys. So I'm gonna put a horizontal line right here. All right, and it's yellow. All right. So if you are looking at price and you see that price, because see, it already hit support. I mean, it already hit resistance, boom, and then boom. So it's going to come down. But eventually, let's say if it hits support again, it's going to hit support and bounce up. And eventually, it's going to break this trend line. If it breaks this trend line and comes up, and then it comes back down and it keeps on hitting support, but it doesn't break this and go back down again, it busts straight up. You now have confirmation that it's going into an uptrend or a buy. Does that make sense? So this is considered a retest. So once price starts to go up and the first candle forms here, you want to wait until the next candle forms above this candle here. And once it does that, that's confirmation you're going into a buy. So then I'm going to put another label here. Let's say right here. That's when you enter in, entry. All right. Now you probably wondered, okay, that's cool. Now, how do I enter price into my MetaTrader 4? Well, I'm going to show you guys. So notice here, let's say I decide to put my stop loss here. This is just an example. So let's say I decide to put my stop loss a little bit close to price right here. So as you can see, price is right here. This is the Bitcoin price. So I'm going to put the stop loss here. This is just how I kind of draw up my lines. So stop loss price 0.03392658. Now it's pretty long for Bitcoin. When you're doing Forex, the price is a lot shorter. So then I put that here, so that way I can kind of see when I'm going to enter into the market. And so let's say if I'm trying to catch 20 pips. So then I'm going to take this, and from here, I'm going to try to measure 20 pips. Let's just say this is 20 pips. So let's say I want to hit, let's just say I want to hit the mark here. I'm not going to say 20 pips. Let's just say I want to hit the take profit here. So then I'm going to put the line here, and I'm going to type in price here. I'm going to call it TP1. 0.03446, because this is the price of the currency of Bitcoin at the moment. So let's see, I want to make sure I typed it in right, 0.03446,183. All right. So now, After you had confirmation that it's going into a buy, you have confirmation because it hit the retest and it keeps on hitting support. It keeps on resisting on that support and it's not breaking through. Then finally price just shoots up because now buyers in the market or banks in the market are putting in their buy order. So now you have confirmation that you're in the uptrend. So it's time for you to enter a buy so you can catch some pips and make some money. So based off of those numbers there, that's what you're going to type into your MetaTrader 4. So I'm going to move this all the way over here. I'm going to show you guys how I put it in. So that way you guys can just get a basic idea. So now I'm going to share my phone screen.
So let me ask you this: when we enter in the signals, I know in the Telegram chat though, it'll say buy, sell. So like, okay, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. So when we entering in that sell and that buy, does that go for like both of them? So you know what I mean? Like when to buy and when to sell, either way. Like so we cover each way. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
No, whenever you're doing a signal in the market, if it says buy now, you only buy, don't sell. Because if you sell that, you're going to go the opposite direction and lose money. Does that make sense? If the signal says sell now, you sell it only.
Yeah.
So whatever they say, sell or buy, that's what you do. You don't do both. Because if they say buy now, market's going up and you put in a sell, you're losing money because you're in a sell position and price is going the other way. Now you're mad. So whenever they say buy now, all you do is buy and put those numbers in. Does that make sense? So let's say price is going up that direction, right? And this is just an example. So the stop loss is going to be 0.03392658. And for some reason, it's not allowed. Oh, I know why. So it's not going to let you put the full price as long as you put in at least, I believe 6 digits is going to take it. So then I'm going to put in the take profit, which is 0.03446.1. So then let's say I want to do a buy. All right. So then I did a buy. And so now I'm in a buy trade. Now, if price was moving up that direction before I put it in, I would start profiting in the blue. All right. So that's why it's good to enter into a retest. That's why Lisa's saying that, because that's exactly how the banks trade our money. They get in at the retests, and then when they get into retests, it's another word for swing or a pullback. Those are 3: retests, swing, or a pullback. Those are your best friends. So when price starts moving that direction, whether it's in a pullback on the top of at the top of a sell, and it's starting to go down, you want to enter in a sell. Vice versa, if it's going up on a swing, you want to buy. That's how you can win, because it's confirmation that price is going that direction. Does that make sense so far to everybody?
But right now, like I said, I'm in the car, so I'm kind of like, I'm trying to watch and drive, so I ain't doing the best job of
Yeah,
it.
you don't worry. You'll see it in the replay. Once you start getting into the mode of marking up your charts and learning this stuff, it's going to all click. But the most important thing is just getting in your head, because once it's in your head and you start trading, it's going to automatically pop in your head. You're going to say, "Oh yeah, that retest. Okay, yeah." You know. Anybody else? Any other questions that anybody else has? Does everything make sense so far? Is it clear and straight to the point? All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, you can drop it on the chat. I'm gonna assume that everybody got the point. But just let me know if you need more clarification. I'll leave this up if you guys have any more questions, but we'll go back. Matter of fact, let me see. It's been over an hour already. Do you guys want to continue looking at the replay here, or do you guys want me to kind of go into a little bit of a demonstration on how to set up MetaTrader 4 for demo? Which one do you guys want to do? I'm pretty sure everybody wants to see.
I want to see the MetaTrader part.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my phone screen. I'm going to show you how to set up a demo account with EgoFX. Now you don't have to go with EgoFX. You can choose whatever broker you want. EgoFX is the broker I use because they're easy to set up and they're easy to fund your account. Some brokers have you fund your account through Bitcoin. You may not know how to deal with Bitcoin yet, so it can be a real hassle. So basically, what I do is, let me share my phone screen now. All right, can everybody see my MetaTrader 4? Let me know if everybody can see my screen, because I want to make sure everybody can see it before
Yeah,
I
I see you, bro.
Okay, you guys can see it?
I see it.
Okay, great. So when you're in MetaTrader 4, I'm going to go into how to navigate it, and I have videos on this as well in the training portal. I'm going to show you guys the training portal, all right? And then if you don't have access to it and you want access to it, then I'm going to give you instructions on how to get into the membership once we're done with the training. So the first thing you want to do is when you download MetaTrader 4, you're going to want to download all of your quotes. Quotes is just another words for currency or pairs, all right? So the way you do that is you got this plus sign on the top right. Now, I'm actually going to open up a new demo account. So, matter of fact, let me start here. When you go into your MetaTrader 4, you want to hit settings, all right? You see new account here, you're going to want to hit new account. Now, once you set up a live account with your broker, that's where you're going to log into an existing account. Because when you're in the back office of your broker and you open up a trading account, they're going to send you an email with the login and password to connect your broker to your MetaTrader 4. But as a demo, you're going to open up a demo account. Now, I use EgoFX demo. Now, the way you search that is you type in EgoFX. It's like the flying eagle. EgoFX demo. You hit that. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to enter in your name. You're going to want to enter in your phone and your email. Now, with the account type, you're going to want to select USD because that's where you're mainly going to be trading because you're in America. Leverage, you can choose 1 to 500, 1 to 200, or 1 to 100. It doesn't matter. I choose 1 to 500, but starting out, you probably might want to choose 1 to 100. All right. Now, when it comes to depositing, now remember, this is a demo account. It's not real money, but it looks like real money. What you're going to want to do is with the deposit, start with $3,000. You don't, unless you want to play around with a lot of money and just play around, then you could probably choose maybe 50,000 to, 500 million, whatever, 50 million, whatever the highest number there is right there. But you're going to want to start with 3,000 because you're going to want to have the mindset of trading the lowest money as possible. So that way, when you hit your live account, you'll know how to manage and risk manage your money. All right. So then once you do that, you're going to hit register. Now you can copy this to clipboard so that way you'll have your username and password just in case if you forget it, you'll have it. So you want to try to copy it to your phone if you want. Then you're going to hit done. So then once you hit done, it's going to have these currency pairs already in place. Now, more likely, you're not going to trade the euro versus the CGK or the euro versus the DKK. That's the exotic. You're not going to trade those right away because you're new. So if you want to delete a pair, you're going to hit the pencil here. All right, the pencil on the upper right. And so when you want to delete a pair, you're just going to select it. Now, do you see that red trash can on the upper right? You're going to want to hit that, and it's going to delete your pairs. All right. Now, you're going to want to add your pairs. So what you're going to want to do is just hit this plus sign. And you see where it says FX crosses, you're going to hit that. And to add the pairs, just hit the plus sign. The green plus sign, and just keep on adding them, and then hit done. They're going to all appear on your screen here. If you want to add Bitcoin or stocks or whatever, then you just go to stocks. They'll have them there. If you want to go to Bitcoin, you're going to go to cryptos. Let's say you want to do Bitcoin versus US dollar, you'll hit that. Now, I highly recommend mastering the art of Forex before trading Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a whole different ball game. But that's how you add all the other stuff. So now you have your pairs set up. So now what you want to learn is you want to get familiar with your settings. Pretty much when you're with your settings, if you want to choose different accounts, you basically just tap this here. And then if you want to go into this demo account, you just do that and it automatically connects it. If you want to go into your live account, once you have one, you just hit that and you're automatically connected to it. It just automatically connects to it. But let me go back to the demo account that I just started. So we started with $3,000. So when you look at the settings here, anytime you want to open up a new account, you just hit new account. When it comes to charts, when you click on charts, it's always best to do candlesticks. Now, line chart is nice as well. That's if you're studying the charts from your MetaTrader 4, but I highly recommend looking at it on TradingView. So that's just pretty much it. I'm only going to go over the main things to get you going. I have videos on how to explain all the other stuff here in settings. Now, history is going to show you all your losses and your profits within a day, week, month, or you can customize it. So, you know, you'll be able to see, you know, what's your profit, how much you've lost, how much money you need to keep up. All right. Now, if you want to look at your charts, you hit here to look at your charts, and whatever currency pair you decide to look at, it's going to show you a chart. And if you want to trade it, you'll hit here. Now, if you're starting from the quote part, all right, let's say you want to trade UJ. So then you tap it, just like on a normal, like let's say you're tapping on your Facebook app. You want to tap before you log in. Same thing here, tap. It's going to give you the options to look at details, and details is just going to let you know what the spread is, the digits, the stop levels, all that other stuff. You'll learn more about these terminologies in the university, so don't worry. When you tap on here, give you a choice to look at the chart. Now UJ is selected, then you could trade that. Or if you want to trade it, you just hit trade. Now, you'll learn about lot sizes in the university. I'm not going to go into that yet. But if you want to do a market execution, you'll select market execution here. Just tap on it. If you want to do a buy or sell limit, or a buy stop or a sell stop, like Elise mentioned, you'll learn that as well. That's how you're able to do that. Then you just put in the stop loss and the take profit in the price if you're doing those buy or sell limits. But if you're doing the market execution, it's just straight stop loss and the take profit. So that's where you enter in your numbers, like I showed you previously on the chart there. When you identify a retest and then you have confirmation that is going the direction you want it to go, then that's when you basically type in that price and you enter the price here. And that's how you're able to actually put in a trade. So if I put in a buy, because the market just opened 9 minutes ago, it's saying a valid stop loss because, you know, I'm just putting numbers in. But that's how you're able to enter into the market. Now, while you're in a trade, just like I showed you guys before, you're able to tap on that currency pair when it's in position and modify it. All right. So that's basically how you operate the MetaTrader 4. The last thing I want to go over is, you know, they got a simple tab and advanced tabs. Simple tab is basically to where they just only show you the price of that currency at that moment. Advanced is going to show you the spread. It's going to show you what price is for the like for example here, the AUD and the USD. it's showing you, okay, on the top, that's the price for the Australian dollar. Then the low is showing you the low price of that dollar. And then on the left is showing you the high and low of the USD. So it just gives you a little bit more information on exactly what high and low value of that currency is at. But if you want to keep it simple and just know what the current price is, then you can keep it as simple. So that's basically how the MetaTrader 4 works. It's very simple, straight to the point. It's very easy to set up and enter a trade once you know what you're doing. So anybody has any other questions about this?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna ask some questions for the people that haven't like tuned in. But like, so you said to use the candlesticks as opposed to using the line. Is that because to be able to see the breaks? Because I know when we use I know using the trader view, we can see the different type of candlesticks because we can create that into the format of what we're doing. So is that to be able to actually see like the breaks or whatever?
Well, in MetaTrader 4, if you want to read the charts on MetaTrader 4, if you have to, actually having it, looking at it both in both ways, looking at the line chart can give you a good view of where price is going, and then looking at the candlesticks can as well. Looking at the candlesticks can as well. When you're on TradingView, when I'm marking up my charts, I start with the line chart because I don't have to worry about the wicks too much, so I'm able to connect my, daily zones, my 4-hour trend lines, and all that other stuff. Then when I get to a certain point to where I'm trying to identify the patterns to the market, then I switch to the candlesticks to see the price action and to see what type of direction the candles are going, when is it going to go in reversal, and et cetera. So you'll learn how to utilize both. They're actually both good. They're actually both very useful in the market. Trying to put my words together. Very good question, but they're both useful. But I just know with MetaTrader 4, I keep it on candle because I don't scan the market on MetaTrader 4. I look at a trading view because it gives me a bigger, broader view of it. So anything else? Any other questions or concerns? Go ahead, Russ.
Oh, I didn't have it. I wasn't saying nothing. I'm listening.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Any other questions or concerns regarding the MetaTrader 4? All right, well, this is recorded, so I'm going to go over one more thing, then we'll wrap it up because I know people are busy today. So I put together this training membership site, and it's free. It's no extra cost. That's going to actually help you to actually train on MetaTrader 4. It's going to help you, give you tips on how to grow your business. And I think it's going to be good for the team to utilize, and it's going to be good to pass down to anybody you enroll in the business. So I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of a brief overview of what that training membership looks like. So let me see, is it sharing my screen? So this is the training membership site. So basically, if a person is new, give me a second. When a person is new, you want to try to get them off to a fast start. So it's good to have a good training platform that guides people through the steps on how to get going. So I'm going to share my screen again to see if I can get into it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. How do we get access to the T Davis? What I would have to do is get your email, and that way I'll be able to send you the login credentials of it. Matter of fact, what I could do, guys, I can actually send you a link that's going to actually have you register for the portal, and then I could send you the login credentials after the training. Do you guys want me to do that so you guys can get access? I could just send you a link in the chat. Okay, let me do that right now. Then I'll walk you through the portal. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. Bear with me, guys. I don't know why my computer going slow. All right. Got the link here. All right, so I'm going to post the link. Stephanie, you already have access to it. I got you access to it. So I'm going to send it to people who haven't got access to it yet. But that's the link there. So if you guys want to go ahead and click that link and fill out the form, then once I get done with training, I'll make sure you guys get access. So I'll go ahead and share my screen again, show you guys what it looks like. All got it here. All right, so basically what's going to happen is when you enroll somebody, and this is good for you as well, when you enroll somebody, you're going to want to actually give them access to this. And so when they fill out that form from the link that I just sent you guys, they're going to get an email that basically says Epic Trading, and it's going to say, here's your login credentials for the Epic Training membership portal. And when they get their login credentials and they finally get in, then it's going to have them come here. Now, if they want to log out, they'll click this button. It's going to say, welcome to Epic Trading. Get started at step 1. Step 1 is going to give that new person the ability to lock in through Telegram, Facebook, and Zoom. So I put videos together to walk people through every step. So that way they'll be able to get into the Facebook groups here. When they click on it, it's going to take them straight to that Facebook group. So for example, we got Kawan's group. It's going to take them straight to it when they click on it so they can join. I don't know why when I share my screen, it locks up on me like that. Want to get you plugged in. Right, so we want to plug. So these are, I have videos that'll walk everybody step by step. Then I have a video that show people how to download Telegram on their phone or computer, and then how to lock into the Telegram groups, how to get access to the live trading sessions. And then step 2 here, this is how people are going to be able to set up their back office. So then I have videos laid out for that. And how to get access to your welcome email so you can get into your back office, and then so on and so forth. Step 3 will give you a tour of your back office. Step 4 will give you an introduction to Epic University. Step 5 is where I show you how to set up your trading accounts, and I'm going to actually look over that. So that way you guys will be able to know how to navigate the MetaTrader 4, how to download it if you haven't already, how to copy and paste, how to set up your demo account with EgoFX like I showed you guys. I have a video on that. How to properly go through MetaTrader 4, how to copy and paste your trade signals from the Telegram group, whether you're iPhone or Android, from your back office, how to download MetaTrader 4 for the computer if you want to go that route, how to set up your live account with EgoFX if you want to go with the broker I use, how to connect your live account to your MetaTrader 4. There's all the things I have laid out. So that way when that new person comes in under you, they'll be able to get trained right away because all these steps are all in one place, and it's very simple. Step 6 is going to actually show you a lot of different market structure graphs that you can look at that's going to help you to identify patterns in the market structure, support and resistance. So I have a couple of videos on that. And then I have some graphs here, and this is an example of what I was telling you about when it comes to retests. This is an example of a retest here, and price goes down. So this is good to keep in front of you. So when you're trading on when you're marking your charts from TradingView, you'll be able to have this in front of you. So that way you'll be able to get familiar with the patterns of the market, because it's going to get to a point to where you're going to do this so much that you're going to look at the price and you can kind of tell what pattern it is. You're going to be able to look at the chart and say, man, that's a double top. Yeah, I got an idea where price might go. Let me look. It's going to get familiar to you. So then you'll see examples of retests, different reversal patterns, continuation patterns, all of that. All right. Let me check the chat to make sure nobody. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea, Tanya. That would be very helpful to everybody. I want to make sure everybody learns the skill of trading. We're not just going to focus on recruiting. We're going to really teach this team the structure and the skill of trading. Step 7, I talk about how to set up a marketing system. This is just one of the tools I use with TCP. If you guys want to use that system to market and get more people on your team so they can learn Forex, you can go ahead. Step 8 is a video of me showing you how to actually get your new signups off to a fast start by using this email swipe here, and it's going to link straight to this form that I sent to you guys in the chat. And so what happens is when they get to this link here, I have a video laid out that basically guides you on how to fill out this form. And then when you get to the second page, so let's say you fill out your information, you're going to see snapshots of what the membership credential, login credentials for this training portal. You're going to see what it looks like, so that way you'll be able to find it in your email. And once you log in, then there you go. So I show you how to do that in that step. Hate it when it does that. Let me stop sharing my screen. Probably got too many tabs open, but I don't want to close them yet. All right. Another good thing too as well, and you guys are going to love this too. I put some tools and ebooks together. So the first thing I put is an Elite Builder Marketing landing page, and this is a landing page that Kawan Mayo, who is our top earner in our group, or one of them, he put a landing page together that you can actually send to your warm market right away. So if you, let's say you get into this business, you just signed up, you automatically know 3 to 4 people that want to lock in. They told you, they said, okay, when you sign up, I want to get in. Well, all you got to do is add your username ID to the end of that URL. You'll see it in this video. And that URL link is going to go straight to your sign up link. So that way you can share with your warm market until you start setting up some professional marketing. All right. So I put that in place. I also put Forex for Beginners, and it's a PDF that explains simple terms in Forex on a basic standpoint of view. So like, what is a pip? You can download it here. So when you download it, and I'll show you what it looks like. So Forex for beginner traders. So they explain to you, why people love Forex. What is Forex? They explain the terms like majors, how to read the currency pairs, popular crosses, popular exotics, how to choose a platform, how to leverage, what is a pip, what is a spread, how leverage works. Just all the terms that you can actually explain, that you can actually learn and also pass down to your teammates. So I put that in place as well for everybody. This keep on acting up, so I'm probably going to have to wrap this up soon. Let me just go over a few more things, because this is going to be recorded anyway. Share my screen one more time. Excuse me. So this is what I have in place. Just a lot of different tools and ebooks. I have resources, which is traffic resources, different traffic resources. And then and there's different tools you can use to try to grow your Epic business. You can use a text message blaster. phone leads. So you can get leads to where you can send text message about Epic. MLM leads. You can learn how to do ads on Snapchat. This is just another video, just a couple of things here. And then also live session replays as well. So I just wanted to show you guys training portal that I put in place for you guys and for anybody that you enroll. So if you guys want access, excuse me, to this, then you can go ahead and click that link in the chat and go ahead and fill out that form. And then I'll put you in the system once this is over. And then you'll get the login credentials on how to get in. And I'll show you what the login credentials will look like. It's actually going to look like this. This is the headline is going to be membership login credentials, Epic Trading. It's going to have the login link. So your username is going to be your email and the password is going to be the password they'll give you. And then you just log right on in. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over in this training. So if you guys want access to this, then go ahead and click the link in the chat. And I'll give you times to do that. So that way I can send everybody login credentials and they can get access right away. So I'm going to stop the recording. And then we'll get down to business and then we'll open up for a Q&A as well.